Hey everyone, it's David with Soulfish. I am super duper glad you're here. Here's Nancy. We are on our walk. We are in the National Forest of Sedona, Arizona. And as you guys may know, over the last year we've been traveling quite a bit, seeing all sorts of places. I apologize for my sunglasses. I'm right in the morning sun, peak for us right now, about 12ish. So we were traveling a lot over the last year, and we were looking for a very special place for us to land. And we always loved Sedona, and so we found a very special place. And so we officially have moved to Sedona, yay! Which is good for all of us, which means we'll be doing a lot more in-person stuff. It also means that we'll be able to do some extra special things in video, etc. now that we're landed. And Nancy and I have lots of ideas and things that we've been wanting to share, as well as just requests that people have made asking us to elaborate on some stuff, or a lot longer videos, teachings, things like that. So we'll be able to really jump into a lot of that stuff. So we're stoked. I want to welcome you to the National Forest that is outside our back door. Hello, Nancy.
Hi.
I'm going to flip you around. Bink. Found us a place to sit and to talk a little bit. I wanted, we're right at the beginning of January, and even though we're dealing in this calendar stuff, energy and cycles don't necessarily meet, nicely with the calendar that we operate on. So we had this new year, and everybody looks at that as almost like a restart or refreshing kind of thing. And what's interesting is over the last year, and as we came towards the end of the year, we were really already starting our new story. And the manifestation of it, the actual appearance, the physicality, the material of it is what we're starting to really experience now for a ton of people, a lot of new starts, new enterprises, new things, new changes. And when I say new changes, that's not oxymoronic. I mean like, complete new changes, a complete shifting. And so I thought this is a great time to connect up and share, in brief, here's kind of the year, the way I want you to look at the year of 2020. And then let's talk about just some recent kind of upcoming stuff and the general energy of that and what you can do with it. I found these awesome quartz crystals. So if you see me holding my hand weird, there's a rose one here that's really neat, and then this one's kind of a milky, if you can see that. I don't know if you can see that or not, but this one has a translucent quality. It's really kind of cool. So anyway, I'm holding on to those. I do well with crystal. If you're an energy sensitive guy, not to rabbit trail you, but if you're an energy sensitive guy, you'll find that silica is really important to you. Quartz crystals, amethyst, anything crystalline or whatever is really important, and you'll start to feel certain things. Things can amplify, so that's what I'm doing now. I'm just kind of sharing with you as I'm feeling it. This next year is really kind of like a mowing grass year. When your first mow of the year, it's spring, and all this stuff is growing, and you know, and where we came from on the East Coast, you know, it have this kind of green lushness, right? And the ground, though, you know, everything around you that would normally be, you know, landscaped or manicured or in place or whatever is all wild and willy-nilly, because everything's just grown up, and you let it do that to really kind of situate and root in, right? And then you do this first mowing and kind of the first cleanup of your yard in spring, and your property like that. And for gardeners or for people who do with plants like we do, you know, it's kind of a neat time. And anyway, you do it, and it's a lot of work, and you're almost kind of creating as much mess as you're trying to clean up at the same time. And yet somehow at the end of this process, it's over with, and it looks awesome, and it smells awesome. And, you know, everything is just kind of pow, just green and lush and amazing. And you're like, wow, this is really great. And that's how this year can be for you. That's this year. It's all there. It's ready for you to kind of put your touch to it and to kind of clean all of this stuff up. And once you do it, it's immediate. It's not like this last year where there was a lot of work and an investment made, and it wasn't necessarily apparent in the physicality and the material. It was a lot of inside work in the hopes that that would lead to something. That's how a lot of people were feeling, right? Like this hopes that it was worth it somehow, there would be a payoff. And what I'm sharing with you now is this year is your work year, your applying year, the payoff year for you. And what's cool about it is like mowing grass, you know. You started off in the morning, and then a few hours later your grass is done, but I mean, it's all done. It looks great, right? So it's that kind of a thing, an immediate result where you can say, I applied this work, and then look, there it generated this for me, amazing, you know. It's very much that kind of year. And so, you know, what does that mean to people? Let's talk about, I want to kind of bring it to now, because, you know, it's great to project out. But let's talk about what matters is in the moment. What matters is now. So let's talk a little bit about how people are feeling right now. A lot of people, from a physical standpoint, ailment standpoint, what this energy brings up in you is some head issues, you know, some chest issues, some stomach issues. These are all tied into, you know, this kind of anxiousness, this unknown quantity out there as you're trying new things. Trying to apply your new attitudes towards stuff, not falling backwards into old patterns. It creates some doubts. Those doubts are based in fear of really, of you either repeating a mistake or of something, a bad event or something that happened in the past, or I was doing this and just like I'm doing it now, and then it all went to shit, you know, back then, and now I'm afraid that it's going to do that again today. You know, all of that kind of vibing out that way. You know, that's kind of the spirit of what a lot of people are feeling right now, those kind of deep-rooted, those kind of feelings. This anxiousness, you know, which again is built around this kind of apprehension, anxiousness, kind of like, you know, putting your foot, the pussyfoot approach, you know, kind of like, you know, that kind of thing. It's kind of, it just can't do that anymore. Like that was all last year stuff. That's not where you are now. You've already committed. You've jumped in, you know, you've crossed the line. You're already there. So you can't do this willy-nilly kind of waffly action anymore. It's got to be, you just got to go. And so, you know, this anxiousness, these kind of bodily feelings, the headaches or the chest kind of stuff, or like I said, the stomach kind of stuff going on. If you're experiencing some joint pain, a lot of people are experiencing joint pain, particularly in legs and things, which, you know, hips, legs, whatever, like feet, problem moving forward. You know, these are all resistance things. Everything you're feeling that way are tied up into your resistance to move forward into the next thing. And so you're going to go. So you can be pulled or pushed, but you're going. So, you know, kind of like our daily energy reading today and the way the energy is right now, you know, it's very much you need to be open. You need to open your mind and open your heart at the same time. So that means that part of this time right now is about, you know, looking maybe at some things you've done previously, but not, you know, not view it with the same attitude, with the same spirit, and see. And, you know, 9 out of 10 things aren't going to, or let's say 9 out of 10 things are still going to be, don't fit, or are not applicable still, and that's good. But I think you might uncover a thing or two in there if you revisit that could really, really I'm gonna say easier way right now, but help to catapult you in some ways, like kind of, like speed you up a little bit, if you'll just kind of revisit some of that and lose some of the old attitude associated. It's the 7th right now, and as we come upon the full moon, and we also have a lunar eclipse in the next few days, and so you're feeling that this energy is going to be building. So today we kind of got a kind of one of these jobs, kind of a little backwards, and then we're going to go forward again. So you're going to feel a little more energy increasing as we approach the next few days. This lunar eclipse, this full moon, a lot of times we want to recharge and cleanse our items, our personal totems, our crystals, our staves, our whatever. This is a time for when you do a full moon to kind of empower that stuff. In a lunar eclipse, I don't think you really want to be doing that right now. So I would strongly recommend that you hold up on your kind of cleansing ceremonial stuff that you normally do at a full moon in that same way, unless you're an experienced practitioner and you understand what energies you're really working with in that space. It's not an everyday kind of like just put your stuff out like you normally would. So you don't want to do that this time. This is a very different kind of time. It's a lot of kind of think of things like star energy, light energy, and planet energy as what I feel and what I'm shown, and this is a lot of planet energy building around this lunar eclipse. And so in that's not clearing energy, that's not light energy, if you know what I mean. That's a different kind of energy, and you don't want to bind stuff to that kind of energy, including yourself. So just be aware of some of that. So it's not auspicious. I'm not here saying to you terribleness upon you or anything like that. It's more of, hey, sometimes we fall into a routine, and in our practice, some things become kind of rote, and you just automatically, sometimes without thinking, that, hey, wait a minute, the energy's a little different right now, and maybe I shouldn't do it in the same way right now. And that's what I really want you to be aware of, and be aware of the little moments that you find, little gifts, and cherish those. I'm here with Nance. We're walking, basically in our backyard. I mean, this is the time. Take these moments to recharge yourself, to be able to, almost like charcoal, right? When you put water through sand and charcoal and all these layers, and so it's kind of a little darker at the top, and then when it comes out the bottom, it's all clear and fresh and ready for you to drink. Take these moments to do that to yourself. So important right now, particularly. And as a side note, don't get caught up in all of the political negativity of everything right now. The whole polarization of he said, she said, and right, wrong, left, right, Democrat, Republican, good guy, bad guy, whatever. Try to stay out of all the propaganda and all of the stuff, and just feel it, and take it and look after you. That stuff's going to happen, and we don't need to feed into that stuff. That's not helping all of us move forward. What we want to do, right, is to help free our little soulfish, right? What we want to do is work together, and we want to change this collective consciousness. We don't want to address the problems in the same way. We want to find new ways that are more beneficial to more people. That's our objective. So don't get caught up in the stuff. Stay focused on you. Stay focused on your connection to source and spirit and to other people, and know that we're all here learning, right? We're all here learning, and be a guide, be a light, and also be a student. So until next time, much love.